take a moment to settle in, finding a posture that suits you this morning, suits you in terms of finding balance in your body, finding ease. As you may know, the Sanskrit word yoga means to yoke, Y-O-K-E, to join. So as you settle into your opening posture this morning, just know that what's happening is each of us is yoking or joining our body, our breathing, a quiet mind, and an open heart. So let's start with the body, getting it comfortable, giving yourself permission to fully relax in this moment. And then begin noticing your breathing, right? It's one of those things that we cannot do this wrong. We're all doing it just right for ourselves. So just notice your breathing, the inhale, as well as the exhale. And we'll spend a few moments here focused on the breathing. In Sanskrit, there's a word, kumbhaka, and it refers to the slight pause between the inhale and the exhale, the kumbhaka. So you may notice the kumbhaka, especially when we take a few deep breaths and slow the breathing. And if it doesn't disrupt your posture too much, you may want to crisscross your arms over your rib cage so that you can place your palms or your fingertips at the edges of your rib cage. And notice your inhale. Pause for the kumbhaka. Notice your exhale. Pause at the kumbhaka. And then when you had a chance to kind of feel that, you can take your hands back down to their natural place for your opening posture this morning. And then after your full inhale, take a longer pause in kumbhaka and just explore for a moment or two what that feels like. And then do so at the very end of your exhale, just expressing more fully the pause, the silence and stillness. With your lips just very lightly touching. Notice your inhale fully moving into the silence of the kumbhaka. And notice the stillness and silence at the end of your exhale. And take a couple more breaths in this way, exploring the silence and stillness in the natural breathing. With your next inhale, bring your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra in front of your lifted heart. As you root down and rise up, take a moment to set your intention for your practice this morning. After you've had a chance to repeat it to yourself, bring your hands back down and come back to noticing breathing. Each of us has a personal intention for our practice this morning. And John and I have an intention for our shared time with you. And that is cultivating moments in our practice this morning where we can fully embrace silence. It's interesting how in our culture, when we talk about winter, we talk about the depths of winter. When we talk about summer, we talk about the height of summer. So here we are together in the depths of winter. And it is a time often for extra silence. And it can become a very, very sacred part of our practice, embodying sacred silence together. So as we move through our practice this morning, we'll pause once in a while to embrace, to hold up the silence, like you're holding a baby or a kitten or a lover, just holding silence for yourself. When you're ready, open your eyes. And we're going to start in downward facing dog this morning. So reach out into your plank posture. Make sure your props are handy for you if you're using any this morning. Move things in a way that facilitates your practice. And glide out into plank pose and spread your fingers apart, pressing the fingertips down perhaps. Get long in your body here. Let the heels move back. Let the collarbones stretch forward. And then lift up into downward facing dog. And begin moving your knees and your ankles, bringing some warm fluid to these joints. Let the head hang. Just really let the head hang here. And then if you'd like to, maybe incorporate a little movement through the hips. See where that takes you. I know some of you like to lift one leg and reach it up towards the sky and then do the other one. So do that if you'd like. Just notice what feels good in your body this morning. And if you feel like coming to a still down dog, you can do that too. Now, next inhale, yogis, glide out into plank pose. Fully inhale. And then the pause, the kumbhaka, the silence. Down dog on your exhale. And again, pausing, silence. Inhale into plank. Pause. Exhale, down dog. Pause. Inhale into plank, full inhale, kumbhaka. Full exhale, kumbhaka. Drop the crown of the head towards the earth. Lift up through the arm bones. That's a very subtle motion, but lift up through the arm bones, meaning up towards the sides of the skull. And drop the heels, pulling the belly button up, fully expressing length in the arms, heels drop. Now bend your knees some and walk your hands back towards your feet, ending up in forward fold at the back of your mat. Once you're in your deep forward fold and you can test drive where your legs need to be in terms of bend of knees to accommodate hamstrings, what I'd like you to do is interlace your fingers at the back of your skull and hug your elbows in towards each other. So you're giving yourself just a bit of traction in the spine. And then release your arms. Let your arms hang heavy, heavy. And then hands to hips. Come on up to standing. Roll your shoulders here. Rooting down through the soles of the feet. Lift up through the heart. Lift the chin. Open the throat. Relax the throat to open it. Think of your lungs as a big jug. And you're going to let the top of this jug open up to allow lots of air in. And then a nice release of what isn't needed on the exhale. Lift your arms up. Relax your shoulders. So this is called Urdhva Hastasana. Slide your hands back, or I should say your arms. Keep your chin lifted. Now interlace your hands, pivot your palms towards the ceiling. Slide the arm bones back, rooting down, rising up. As you exhale, bring the tops of your hands to the crown of your head. Release the shoulder blades down the back of the rib cage. Pull the abdominal wall in. Close your eyes and feel the sweet release of shoulder blades down the back of the rib cage. And then release. Go nice and slow. We'll do a few more shoulder openers here, taking time to go nice and slow, letting the shoulders, fronts and backs and tops and shoulder blades all feel the effects of what you're doing. Now this time, bring your arms overhead, crisscross the forearms, hold the elbows, walk your fingertips down your triceps a little bit, root down and then pull up. Try to keep the shoulder blades relaxed as you give a gentle tug to the triceps. Lift the throat, the chin to open the throat. And release. Go nice and slow, rolling the shoulders. Now take your feet at the edges of the back of your mat there. Lift and spread the toes and lift your inner arches. And then set the toes down softly on your mat. Just lay them down. Feel the weight back in your heels a bit. And then inhale back into Urdhva Hastasana, this lifted arm. Pull back. Take a hold of your left wrist and keeping all the length and openness you've cultivated so far, bring yourself over to the right, straighten your arms, and pull back, pull back. See if you can lift your gaze. And come to center, release. Inhale back up into Urdhva Hastasana. Take a hold of your right wrist. Glide to the left, maybe straighten the arms. Pull back, open the throat. Fill and empty, and come back to center and release. Inhale, lift up. Come back and pause in our Urdhva Hastasana together, rooting down, rising up. Inhale, lift the fingertips. Exhale, take your hands behind your back. Draw your arm bones back. See if you can touch your hands together. If it's too intense, don't do that. Just let the fingers interlace, draw the arms back. Inhale, lift and inflate the heart. Exhale, half a bow, half a bow. Bring your spine parallel with your floor, your back and your heels a bit. Draw your collarbones forward. Lift your arms. Take your gaze way out on the floor in front of you. Find a little spot on your floor to hold your gaze at so your head isn't drooping. A little cervical curve in the neck. And then sitting back at the heels, Come back up to standing. Here we go, yogis. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bend the right elbow. Cup it with your left hand. Draw your arm back. Lift your chin. You might really feel this if you've been doing a lot of shoveling lately. So you're back in the heels. Toes are just lying still on the mat. And you're going to draw this arm bone back and maybe bring it a little closer to your skull. If you feel like you want to go a little deeper, you're going to swing your left arm around and hook your fingers together. Rooting down, lift the elbow up, and then slow release. Go nice and slow. We'll do the other side. Inhale up into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bend the left elbow. Cup it with your right hand. Draw the arm back and maybe close to your skull. Rooting down, lifting up, maybe explore taking the right hand behind you, but you don't have to. Lifting up, opening up, lifting the chin gently away from that fifth chakra, opening the throat. So heart and throat and mind begin coming into alignment. And release. Go nice and slow. Roll your shoulders. Staying at the back of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take a nice deep bow. Inhale, lift halfway and express the full length of your spine. Exhale, deep bow to our shared practice. Inhale, lift up, making a big circle in the sky. Exhale, come to your heart center and close your eyes. Rooting down, rising up. Body, breath, open heart, quiet mind, noticing silence. Just meet yourself in this moment with silence. And then softly open your eyes. And then bring your feet back under your hips from the back of the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, crab walk down your mat into plank pose. Inhale into plank and exhale with your knees up or down. You're going to slowly lower. Inhale, lift up into Bhujangasana. Slide the shoulder blades back down the rib cage. Hug the elbows in. Lift the head and lift the heart. Next, exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale in your down dog and exhale your way into plank, knees up or down. Inhale in plank and exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift up into cobra pose, Bhujangasana, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep cleansing breath here, yogis. Inhale into plank, pause on the kumbhaka. Exhale to lower, pause on the kumbhaka. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana. And I will stay here for a couple of breaths. Hug the elbows in, fingertips press your mat, pull back isometrically. Take one full cycle of cleansing breath. And then press back into child's pose. Sit the hips back at the heels. Let the head rest. Perch up on all 10 fingertips so your palms are off your mat. Hips down, head rests. Arms are full extension. Take a full breath, taking just a moment of silence on either side of your inhale and your exhale. And then gently come on up. We're going to pad the knees for anyone who would like to do that. We're going to do one semi-lunge called thread the needle. So once you get any padding you'd like to use under your knees, bring your hands beneath your shoulders. And then step your left foot out like a kickstand and step it up in alignment with your hands. Now swing the left arm up and open, pivoting your heart towards your ceiling. Open your throat. Pause here. Now with your next exhale, thread the needle, meaning bring your left fingertips behind your right wrist and lower yourself down to the floor. As you take your head down, you're going to extend your right arm way out in front of you. Now you can stay right here. This is plenty. Or tuck your chin over towards your right armpit for a deeper stretch along the back of the neck. Walk your right hand back in. Swing your left arm up again and just pause here. This beautiful offering of heart energy. Taking it and opening the throat. And release. Here we go. Other side. Move nice and slow here, yogis. Move slowly. Once you're there in position, right leg is out like a kickstand. Eventually, step it right up in alignment with your hands and swing your right arm up. Full expression of open and twisting. Lifting your gaze. As you exhale next time, place the fingertips into thread the needle. Walk the left arm way out. Lay your head down. If you want to go deeper in this posture, pull your chin over towards your left armpit. Breathing deeply. And then you're going to walk your left hand in a bit for support as you lift your right arm up once more. And go as quickly or as slowly as you'd like, breathing, opening, noticing. And release. So yoga is a meditation on the body. We're going to come into plank pose. We notice and we get to know our bodies more intimately. And meditation is getting to know our minds more. Get long here. And then lift up into your downward facing dog. Now bend your knees deeply. Notice how that feels. And then with your strong straight arms, press your heart back towards your knees. Stay here for just a moment, kind of crouching, a crouching dog. And then lift up onto the balls of your feet, full expression of length, whatever that looks like in your legs. Some of us need to keep some bend in the knees for healthy hamstrings. Now explore letting the head rest between the biceps. Pull the belly button up and at long last, set the heels low towards the earth. Take one cleansing breath here. And when that's complete, you're going to bend your knees and step right into the center of your mat, walking your hands back. Take a hold of opposite elbow here and swing yourself around. And then hands to hips, come on up to standing. We're going to do our wide open hip poses this morning together. So if you are using bricks, it's a good time to snag them and put one behind each heel. And if you're not using bricks, that is fine. All right, yogis, here we go. Lift and spread the toes, lift the inner arches, right? The way we stand on the earth can bring such joy and depth to this moment. So let your toes just lightly sit on the mat. Notice the sides of your feet, the outer edges on your mat. Lift the rib cage, creating space for the lungs. And then inhale, lift. Back, here we go, sliding the arms back, Urdhva Hastasana arms, rooting down, rising up, lifting the heart, relaxing the shoulders, unclenching the jaw, if that's a habit we have. And then in your own good time, let the arms extend, palms open to receive. Close your eyes for just a moment of going inward and being silent. Open your eyes. Turn the left toes in preparation for warrior two. And any inchworming around your mat that you'd like to do, go ahead, bending that left knee deeply, extending long and strong through the right leg. Hug the muscles of your right leg onto the bones of your right leg. Sit down in your posture and think about your shoulders being stationed over your hips. Now, hug the triceps up to your arm bones, flip your palms over, gaze out over those left fingertips. Fearless warrior, also called peaceful warrior. And then reverse. Swing this left arm over. If you feel it's okay in your shoulders, you can clasp your left wrist. Slide your arm bones back and direct this whole side of the rib cage into this deep crescent shape. Lift your chin away from your throat, opening up that chakra, and then exhale back into fearless warrior. Take your right hand to your right hip. Place your left hand at your brick or forearm to thigh bone or clasp your ankle. Get long, roll your top shoulder back. Forehead is a little bit above the chin. Eventually, your right arm extends over your ear and you turn your heart and lungs towards the ceiling and you open your throat. And then if it feels safe, dig deep into the earth with the soles of your feet and slide both arms to the side of your room. Now push into your feet, straightening your left leg, right up, exalted warrior. Lift, lengthen, and open. Slide your arms straight out from heart center. Pull the energy of Padabandha, the way you are standing with an open heart on the earth. Pull that energy up to your solar plexus. And then with strong, steadfast legs, you're going to stretch. And eventually your left hand comes to your block or your ankle or shin, or even down to your mat if you'd like. Whatever just brings you into a beautiful, healthy alignment. And pause, one moment of sacred silence opening. Top hand to hip. Bend this left knee. Come on up. Turn the toes. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we bow deeply together. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bowing to our shared practice. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Swing on up. And exhale, float the hands out, extending. Get into your full posture of openness and length. Turn the right toes forward, bend the knee, make any small movements around the mat that bring your right knee over your right heel. Back leg is strong and straight. Really pull the triceps up to the arm bones. Flip your palms over. Fearless warrior. Peaceful warrior. And then back hand to thigh bone. Swing your right arm up. You're going to take a deep crescent shape through the rib cage here. And if you'd like to hold the wrist, go ahead, letting the rib cage stretch. Take the chin away from the sternum. As you exhale, come back into peaceful, fearless warrior. Back hand to hip. Take your forearm and your right hand wherever it lines you up best for this beautiful Parsvakonasana posture. Make a long band of energy with your body and then shine your heart and lungs up and out. Eventually, swing your left arm over your ear and get really long here. If you're feeling rock solid, you can dig deep with your feet and lift your right arm up and then slide your fingertips towards the side of your room. Push into your feet, cartwheel your way up, straightening that right leg, exalted warrior. Lift, lengthen, and open. And exhale, arms out. So we express with a lot of very generous openness in the arms, the heart, the lungs, but then we balance that with pulling up on the earth's energy into the solar plexus and glide, keeping these energies feeling balanced in the body and noticing where it feels balanced to bring the right hand to the shin, the ankle, or the mat, or the brick. Let this band of band of energy that is your body get long and strong and turn your heart and lungs towards the sky. Take a nice deep breath. And then lifted hand to hip, bend your knee so that you can turn the toes, coming up to standing. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Pause here, just pause. Let your shoulders relax. Let your head hang. And then press into the hands, perhaps heel toe in a bit for feeling safe and solid. Hands to hips. Come on up to standing. And step or hop the feet together. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, heart center. Close your eyes. Open the ear canal. Relax the ears. It's in these moments of silence that our heart and our minds communicate for creativity, for willfulness, for love. And then take your hands down. So we're going to come into a balanced pose together, eagle pose. And what I'd like you to do is choose a foot to balance on and let the other knee come up. And we're going to just practice our balance. So what happens is our body is very used to mapping us when we're on 2 feet. And all of a sudden, we come to our yoga mat, we try to balance on 1 foot in the body. The brain is, now how am I going to map this? It's figuring things out. You can have your hand on the back of a chair or a table. So no, not a wrong thing to do to support yourself. If you can, try making a little figure 8 with the big toe. Just bring it into a figure 8. Maybe you're practicing taking your hand off that chair or table. And then we're going to switch feet. And notice how you can kind of glide your weight into the core of your standing leg without scrunching your toes on the mat and without locking your kneecap. So once again, just whether you'd like to support yourself or whether you're feeling solid on 1 foot, just a little movement, little figure 8. Imagine you're drawing a figure 8 in the air with your big toe. Notice Noticing what's happening in the standing leg. And release. Okay, now we're going to take what our brain just learned about our body into eagle pose. So just bouncy, healthy joints. Take your lifting leg across midline. Again, find to support yourself. You might want to have a toe down. You might want to have a toe up. You might want to wrap your toe around your shin bone. But then sit down in your posture and open up your nice big eagle wings. Clear blue sky, sailing through clear blue sky. Hands to heart center. We're going to do the other side. Rock your body weight or move it into the core of your standing leg. Nice bouncy, healthy joints. Nothing rigid. Maybe a toe down or up or around. Whatever suits your practice this morning. And then when you're ready, open up, flying through clear blue sky. And release. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, come on up, halfway. Exhale, deep bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up and return to heart center. Now, yogis, if you were using bricks, move them out of your way, off your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, out into plank pose. Inhale here and exhale here, maybe a little mountain climber. Pull the abdominal wall in. Getting strong. And then set the knees down. Walk your knees up towards your wrists. Cross at your ankles. Come on over to seated. And just shake out the wrists a little bit. We've done quite a bit of planking and down dog. And right now we're going to move into a pose called upward facing plank. So you're going to judge for yourself what's healthiest for your wrists. You may want to have your hands, your fingers pointed off to the sides of your mat and then draw your shoulder blades toward each other. The other version is fingers pointed forward. I would choose fingers pointed off to the sides just because you can really get nice engagement in the shoulder blades. Now, from here, what you're going to do is walk your feet down your mat, straight legs, and do something we don't often do in yoga, which is point your toes. Keeping the shoulder blades on the back of the rib cage, kind of gliding towards each other, begin lifting your hips right up off the mat, and eventually let the weight of your skull roll back. Really point your toes here. Let your body enjoy a big cleansing breath. And then sit the hips down. Come back in. Take yourself into regular plank. Lift up into down dog. And make any movements you would like. And then take your feet towards each other. Slide the right heel towards the earth as you lift the left leg high. Really let it lift. Keep it nice and straight. This is called tail of the dog. Right heel down, left heel soars. And switch feet. Left heel down, right heel soars. Tail of the dog. Lift that tail nice and high. And then right foot comes down. Now again, look to the center of your mat, bend your knees and hop right up. Walking your hands back, hands to hips, come back up to standing. Now take the left foot forward And step back with the right foot for warrior one. So long, straight leg behind you with the heel down. And as you come in, we'll take it slowly coming into this really complex pose. We're bending the left knee up over the heel. And then we're going to add another layer of complexity by taking the left hip back and the right hip forward. Lift your heart, open your throat. Inhale, lift your arms and relax the shoulders. Lift up nice and high with the fingertips, the heart and the gaze, and stretch down into the earth with that back heel. Now, as you exhale next time, bring your hands behind you to interlace and draw the arms back. Now lift the heart, gaze up at your ceiling. This is called stargazer. With your next exhale, hinge at your hips and bow inside this forward leg. Let the shoulders rotate. And then press on up. Come on up. Undo the lace of your hands. You're going to inhale, lift, and exhale, swan dive down, coming onto the ball of the back foot. You're going to pivot the ankle just a bit, so you kind of almost like you're about ready to start a sprint. And then you're going to push into that forward leg and lift the right leg high once more. You can stay right here, or if you want to, you can practice taking one or two hands to your standing ankle. And then 10 fingertips on the mat, bend your left knee and come down with the right foot, hands to hips, come on up to standing. And we're going to do the other side. So this time, right foot stays forward, left foot steps back. And the back toes are turned about halfway out. We want to allow for silence in our practice this morning, just moments of silence. So as you move into this complex posture, bend the right knee, get the left heel down, and then draw the right hip back, left hip forward, eventually lifting up in the arms, lifting the fingertips, lifting the gaze. And then bringing your hands to interlace, coming into this stargazer posture, drawing the arms back, letting the heart and lungs have all the space they need. With your next exhale, take a nice deep bow inside your front knee. Letting the crown of the head look at the earth. Letting your arms rotate. Pause here. And then you're going to push into your feet to come on up. Come all the way back, releasing the hands, lifting up into warrior one. Exhale, sweeping the hands down and pivoting in the back foot so that you can deliver the weight into the core of your forward leg and lift your back leg. Stay right here or practice one or two hands at your standing ankle. And hands, fingertips to the mat, set that leg down. Here we go, yogis. Inhale, we come into plank together. Exhale, knees can come down as you lower. Inhale, sweep up into Bhujangasana. Hug the elbows in. We're going to be silent here as we lift and open the heart, the throat, and the mind. Close your eyes. pull back on your fingertips. And then gently come out of your back bend. Take your knees and your feet to touch. Sit back at your heels. Now cup your palms open to the sky. Lay your forehead down. Relax your shoulders. Just lie here in rabbit pose for a moment of calm and quiet. And then lifting the hips, gently exploring, rolling onto the crown of the head until you get a nice little bit of traction in the spine and maybe even the back of the neck. And then set the hips back down, relaxing your shoulders, and come on up to seated. Now, if you're using bricks this morning, we're coming into camel, you may want to grab your bricks, you may want to grab a blanket. You don't have to have those things. So the reason I said about the bricks for camel, we're going to start with our toes tucked under here and take our hips over our knees. Now really engage the muscles of your legs onto the bones. It's called organic energy in yoga. Just this innate organic energy we have in the body. Engage that and really let the muscles support you. You're going to engage your glutes and you're going to pull your abdominal wall in. So you have all of this support. Roll the shoulders back, and then you can put your hands into your back pockets, so to speak. You can capture your heels and press your hips forward and lift your heart, or you can use bricks to do just that very same thing. Taking the hips forward with engaged legs and core, and lift the heart. Let the weight of the skull roll back, revealing the throat fully, opening the throat. Take a couple of deep breaths. Come on up with an inhale, and exhale, sit back at your heels. We're going to do another camel, and you could do the very same one you just did, or you could do a different variation, whatever suits you best. So again, come on up, take a moment to just engage lots of support for yourself. Back pockets, blocks, or heels, whatever works best in your body this morning. If you're doing heels, just really accentuate hips moving forward, heart and lungs lifting up, and then let that throat chakra open in silence. Come on up, sit back at the heels, close your eyes, relax your shoulders. So on a deeper level, as we open in silence, one of the effects is that we become more mindful of what we say, and we become more mindful of opening up to what others have to say. Such a beautiful piece of our yoga practice together. Words are so powerful that sometimes we can think of it as words just don't say something, but they actually do something. Take another quiet breath. And then come on up. Your feet probably feel very well stretched out right now. Put the tops of your feet down and come to seated. We're going to do a nice deep seated twist together. So take your left ankle by your right hip. Step your right foot across. Now, as always, feel free to straighten this leg if that's too intense for your knee. Push into with your fingertips if needed to bring yourself right into the center of your posture. And then give yourself a nice big hug around the knee with the left arm and swing your right arm behind your waist. Sit up nice and high here. And then turn your chin towards your back shoulder. Close your eyes. Lips are just lightly touching. Pull the abdominal wall in as you sit up nice and tall. And step your spine one big step deeper into your core. Notice yourself breathing here. Relax the ear canals to receive. Let the heart, the throat, and the mind come into alignment. Now, yogis, turn your chin towards your left shoulder and look down at your mat like maybe something fell out of your pocket. Come on up. Keeping your legs just as they are, we're going to unwind into open twist. So your right hand's going to cup your ankle, your left arm comes around your waist, pull the left shoulder back, and let the heart shine wide open. Let the lungs fully inhale and exhale. Close your eyes if you wish. Lift the chin away so the throat, the inner ears, the heart, the mind, everything opens. This whole communication system opens. And then see what happens when you're silent with that. And come back to center. We're going to slowly unwrap ourselves and do the other side. So right heel to left hip. And you're going to step your left foot across, straightening your right leg if needed. Fingertips down, press up, get right settled into the center of your pose. Wrap your right arm, embrace that leg. Swing the left arm behind you. Lift up, turn the chin towards the back shoulder. Close your eyes. Pull the abdominal wall in, lifting the crown of the head. Step the spine one step deeper into your core. Close your eyes if you haven't already and embrace a loving, loving embrace to this silence. As you exhale, unwind. Oh, sorry, go back to your wind, yogis. Dial back into that deep wind and then pivot your chin towards your right shoulder and look down at your mat like maybe something fell out of your pocket. Now, keeping your legs as they are, slowly unravel yourself into open twist. So your right hand comes around your waist, your left hand holds your ankle, and then just fully open your heart, your lungs, your throat, your ears. Open it up, this whole loving communication system. Relax your eyelids over your eyes. Lips just gently touch. And embrace this sacred silence. and then back to center. Unravel. Let your legs come out in front of you. You can give a little shake or windshield wipering if you'd like. And then bring your knees in. Bring your knees in so much that you can just pivot your heels and point your toes up at the sky. Find your sit bones. Sit there. Palms down. Stretch your heels forward. Pull your abdominal wall in. Take your shoulder blades back and down the rib cage. Open the throat. So you're pulling in, you're pressing away, and you're opening. And release. Again, pull the knees in. Find that place where you feel like you're perching. Inhale into Urdhva Hastasana arms. Exhale, come over your knees towards your toes. If you don't bring your hands over your toes, that's okay. Some of us will be here, and that's fine. From here, you can stay right here if this feels good, or begin extending your feet forward and lowering your heart towards your knees. You may want to grasp the outer edges of your feet or your shins or knees. What I'd like you to think about is getting long in the spine, and even in this most unlikely situation, letting the heart stay open. And giving a little cervical curve to the neck rather than getting droopy with the head. You can give a little cervical curve. Thrust the heels forward gently. Maybe give a little squeeze at the backs of the knee joints towards the floor. And let the heart and lungs reach forward. And release. Okay, come back out onto your mat the long way. Again, we're gonna take, like we always do, moving one brick if we're using one over the head as we prepare for our lying down postures. Take your arms up overhead, stretch long, and then touch the soles of your feet together, bend your elbows. Find a place of deep rest for the shoulders and arms. Close your eyes. Let your eyes relax, lips lightly touching. And once again, heart is open, heart energy flowing. Lungs are taking in and giving back oxygen, CO2, this beautiful pulsation. This air we share, it's maybe come across the Sahara Desert, maybe through the Swiss Alps, down across the Provençal lavender fields, scoured by the Atlantic Ocean, all the way to us here. We share this beautiful air. So bring the knees up so that the knees touch, and take your knees all the way to the right. Go nice and slow, and then back to center and to the left. Through center to the right. Shoulder blades are buried deep on your mat. And then knees to the left. And then gently back to center. Take a full body stretch here. And then snag your brick, bending your knees, deposit your brick beneath your hips. Take one breath in full body stretch. And then lay your arms down alongside your body. Bend your knees and lift your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Spend a little time here, heart open, lungs taking full cleansing breaths, throat open so the chin moves gently away from the throat. Lips are softly touching. Throat is open. Ears are open. Eyes and lips are softly closed. Stay here in silence, letting your heart and mind connect. When the time seems right for you, you're going to softly make your way into Shavasana.
Breathing. Resting. Noticing. Peacefully. Breathing resting, peacefully noticing silence. The interconnecting embrace of your breath, your heartbeat, your body with a straight, relaxed spine and shoulders back. Following your breath as you inhale and exhale, possibly counting your exhalations silently, possibly bringing to mind a word or a mantra that resonates for you. And allowing your mind, yet noticing that the past is not here, nor is the future. Breathing, resting, peacefully noticing silence as your heart beats, your eyes rest, you hear your breath and maybe this voice. Inhaling the fragrance of your clean room and body. And as your face relaxes and your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, the taste, as your fingers and your toes and the warmth and the cool. This embracing nature of being with a quieting mind, a resting body, and a connecting spirit. Noticing the energetic flow of blood and breath, consciousness, and also everything in all directions that doesn't need to be defined. As you breathe and rest and feel and notice, body like a mountain, strong, silent, yet living, pulsing. Mountain on the earth, part of the earth, you. As the water flows, as the oceans touch the earth, as the seasons continue, as you breathe. the earth and the water, and breathing the air rising into the heavens, into the universe, on the wind, on the wings, through the trees, the air, the water, the earth, and the warm, glowing power of the sun, the fire, and that flame in your heart, the warming flame, as your breath and all senses just flow to your heart from the earth and the water and the air and the fire. Hear your heart beating peacefully. Heartbeat, drumbeat, noticing, allowing sorrow, allowing sorrow in, and let it permeate and then leave with joyful effort as you inhale and exhale and live within the sweet embrace of your senses, the choices you make, and the lives that we live together right now, right now. Energy swirling, coiling, releasing, penetrating like invisible light, golden light, silver light, silent, silent light, right there at the base of your spine, where you do root down and sink in like that mountain. And the energy rises to your sacrum and flowing out from your sacrum to create, to release, to give and receive life in the beautiful sharing fashion therein. And the energy rises right to the core of your being, your solar plexus, that gut. To go ahead and be strong there. The sense of who you are and a sense of where you are. While you allow the motion within, the emotions without, to just be part of you and rise to your heart. Beat within your heart in all directions in a loving place with that intention to be good, to be kind, to be strong, and most of all, to be loving within your heart, within your action as the energy rises, filling your lungs, once again, reaching down your arms to your fingers and your legs to your toes, the energy swirling up right to your throat. And within the silence, to consider your speech when the speech comes, within a real codification and understanding of what speech is to you as you listen, and show empathy to yourself in all life with kindness and honesty and thoughtfulness and directness, to notice and to speak and yet be embraced and so deeply informed by silence, as that being, as that nature, that pure spirit rises right between your eyes, pineal gland. Here we call it the lighthouse, shining in, shining out. Notice your eyes resting. Notice your spirits rising. This joyful effort that's just so natural as you breathe. And right out of the crown of your head, your noble being, the noble life in all directions, right here with us, with all life, all non-life, all things defined and not defined as we now rest in some silence with our breath. Living, learning, doing your best, doing our best as we live together. And you continue to savor your precious life.
With your next inhale, take a full body stretch. And bending your knees, roll to your right and make your way up into a closed-eyed seated posture on your mat. And once you're there, root down, rise up, and take your time taking a couple breaths, noticing the kumbhaka, that silence between the inhale and the exhale. Always there. And sometimes we just don't notice. So take your time. Holding that silence like a baby or a cat or a lover. Cherishing silence. Silence in the depths of winter. And then inhale your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra in front of your lifted heart. Bring to mind the intention you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. And take a quiet moment to consider your intention. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Such a joy to share a practice with you. The light in John and me shines on and honors the beautiful light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, yogis.
Again, gallery review. We're going to start doing a Thursday class regularly at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And if you can make it, love to see you.